Leon Cooperman is legendary. He ran GSAM. He worked at Goldman Sachs for 25 years. How big a deal is this?
I think it's a big and it's an embarrassing situation for an industry that didn't need more embarrassment. You know, what we've seen this week, candidly, has been some of the, the top names. This is a multi-billionaire money manager down to 5,000 employees, falsifying accounts at retail banks in the middle of nowhere. It just plays to the theme that finance in America is corrupt from top to bottom, and that's a great shame.
I want to ask just a bit about how he works. There was a line in the SEC complaint that stood out to me. It said one strategy Cooperman employed was to accumulate large positions in publicly traded companies and develop close relationships with those companies' senior executives. So it's sort of in line with what we're seeing here in the complaint is that, by phone, in person, he had close relationships with a lot of executives. I
think he'd done that for many, many years. And, that's where this gets particularly challenging, I think, for them. The traditional situation is what you saw, with the famous phone call between Martoma and Stevie Cohen. They're long some $700 million in stock. They have a phone call on a Sunday. Suddenly, the next day, they're short $300 million. But it's only you and me in the call, and if neither of us sings, we all go away. In this instance, the so-called Executive One, Cooperman receives a subpoena, and according to the government, he then calls Executive One and says, listen, let's make this story up. That creates an element of guilty mind that in the other one, Cohen was on the phone with this guy Martoma. Turns out he was a bad guy. So sad. Bye. And I knew nothing about it, don't want to know, and didn't see it.
Well, this is kind of like what the executive is telling the SEC as well. He was shocked and angered, they said, that Leon Cooperman would trade on inside information.
That's right. And, Cooperman is also on the board, the audit committee of publicly traded funds. And that's what makes it even worse for her. In a way that Martha Stewart had challenges, and it turns out, that she did have her Series 7 back before many, many brownies and cookies and whatever else, that actually made her money. But they said, this is a woman who should have known, even if it was something that you did years ago. If you're on the board of a publicly traded company, it does create an even higher challenge to say, I had no idea, which must be, at the end of the day, what Cohen said on that phone call. I had no idea Martoma gave me bad stuff.
Leon Cooperman is scheduled to talk to investors at 4:15 p.m. on a conference call. He also issued a letter today, and he said, quote, we are highly disappointed with the Commission's decision to file charges, and we strongly disagree with the Commission that either the firm or I have engaged in any unlawful conduct. We've done nothing improper and categorically deny the Commission's allegations. There are many allegations here. I think it said that there were perhaps violations of federal securities laws more than 40 times.
Let's listen actually to the SEC firsthand. Let's listen to what the SEC had to say.
The complaint alleges Cooperman took steps to cover up his misconduct by calling Atlas Pipeline executives after his receipt of an SEC subpoena to try to gain assurances they would not reveal his misconduct. In addition to the insider trading claim, today the Commission charged Cooperman with violating the beneficial ownership reporting provisions of the federal securities laws.
It sounds like a serious sting operation was underway at the SEC. How intense do these investigations get? I mean, are they wiretapping phones?
Certainly, Executive One will lie at the bottom of this. Was his interpretation of what he said actually inside information? Did he know that was the case, or was it something that he could have said was normal color that I would have received on any phone call any time? No doubt that will form one part of it. The 40 failures to report, that can be something where you were just late in reporting a position. I don't think that it would be a pattern. And this is a guy, to their defense, since 1992, they have produced 14% a year, and they are a superb, well-respected manager. I'd certainly give them the benefit of the doubt. Everyone I've known who's worked there has been good.